63 and free. And I happen to believe that the most powerful and renewable resource in the world is the human spirit. And when I looked up the word spirit in the dictionary, it was defined as the animating principle of life. Semicolon, vital essence. Vital essence. Now you need to know, I'm one of 14 children. Now besides my sister, I want to know who out here has 13 brothers and sisters. I don't see any hands. I believe my parents understood love's a verb. Woo! There was a whole lot of loving going on in our house, and I saw love in action every day. Now, for 25 years, I was in the business of manufacturing industrial chemicals for cleaning and sanitation. I kid you not, from the boiler room to the boardroom, I taught invisible people the art and science of restroom sanitation. Believe me, a flush a day keeps the doctor away, okay? But I encouraged them to be thinking about the nobility of their work. Having your head in a commode 8 hours a day ain't easy. You feel marginal and marginally paid. But I suggested to them that every toilet they would clean, if they cleaned it with high care factor, they were actually improving the quality of life for other people and making a greater individual commitment count for themselves. Now, many of these people didn't speak English. So I used my smile to communicate with them because, after all, the smile is the universal language, no matter what language we speak. Would you agree? And I encouraged them not to leave home without their smile, because our smile has power. It's the light in our window that tells other people we are a sharing, caring person. And so it is with you. So as an experiment, I want you to turn to your neighbor and flash him your $1 million smile. Get after it. Woo! See what happens? Listen to the giggles and the laughter and the energy, and the room goes up. There's power in our smile, and there's an economic value to it as well. So don't leave home without your smile. Today, I earn my living teaching people how to live on purpose. No more drive-by shootings. No more running on empty. No more being busy because it's so popular. To live on purpose. I teach people how to allocate their power of time, energy, and talent, and allocate that power around their highest priority outcomes. You got purpose and you got power going here. I teach people to honor their word. That's a capital W, people. To themselves first. Because every time we break our word to ourselves, we injure our honor, our spirit, and our self-esteem. These are smart skills, not soft skills. These are the smart skills of emotional intelligence, and they are designed to help reduce our stress, simplify our decisions, increase our satisfaction in life, and deal more effectively with the risks of everyday living. My prescriptions are simple. They're just not easy to do, because even when we know better, we must choose to do better. And that performance choice requires us to be present. Because many people live in the past, or they're fearful of the future. The past is history, and I don't have a guarantee of another breath, nor do you. Woohoo! Think about it. We're to learn from the past, not live in it. And with this in mind, I want to share some stories with you from my past, because they have definitely shaped the way I look at the world and the people in it. These are life lessons that I have carried with me from childhood to this precious present moment in time. Now, I'm going to go way back. I'm in first grade playing kickball on the playground. And these cool older girls come walking towards us, but they actually look like they're smelling something bad because their noses are all scrunched up and they're pointing, but we couldn't hear what they were saying till they got closer. And then we hear them saying, "You're rich, you're rich." Well, when you're in first grade, you think the world revolves around you, so I thought they were talking to me. The bell rings, we go in for the afternoon session, but it's still whirling around in my mind, "You're rich." I didn't know what rich was, but I knew I didn't want any part of it, especially if it smelled bad. So I ride my bicycle home from school. I'm playing outdoors. We're called in for dinner, and the first words out of my mouth are, "Daddy, are we rich?" And I'm laughing now because I'm certain by the expression on my face, and naturally, a question, he considered it deserved some attention. Hopped on his lap, and he says, "Listen, I want you to take off your shoes and socks. We're going to count your toes." "Huh? Daddy, don't you remember? This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home." Okay. I threw off my shoes and socks and began to count my toes. 1, 2, 3. I had 5 on one foot. 1, 2. I had 5 on the other. Now, how many is it? 10. Right. He said, "Now I want you to stretch out your hands because we're going to count your fingers. Even the thumb?" Even the thumb. 1, 2, 3. I had 5 fingers on the one hand. I had 5 fingers on the other hand. I had 10 fingers and 10 toes. Then my dad asked me this question. "So you've got 10 fingers and 10 toes. Do all your brothers and sisters have 10 fingers and 10 toes?" Yes. You know what I think? No. I think we are the richest people I know. Yes, we are rich. We're rich. I jumped off his lap. I was so happy we're rich. And as I was growing up and going through growing pains, like feeling poor, flat broke, poor in spirit, I'd had disappointments along the way, or just flat poorly. I actually remember pausing to count my riches, starting with my toes. My dad gave me a very simple definition for the word rich. And to me, that has been an ageless, timeless gift. I am now 20, and my mother is giving birth to the caboose in our family. That's right, number 14. The doctors didn't give Jason but a day or two to live. So my mother brought him home to die and to meet the rest of the family. And this was an absolutely unforgettable season in my life. It was about 6 months to the day Jason came home from the hospital that Jason went home to God, but not without having had a profound impact on me, and likely all of us who cared for him. But this little life, who never uttered a word or took a step, called out of me qualities that may never have been revealed. Qualities of compassion, generosity, tenderness, deep and sincere love. And as we were standing around that little bassinet celebrating this little innocent, I can remember looking around and asking myself, who of us, with so many more opportunities, so much better health, and so much more time, succeeds so well in calling out the best in others? And it was in that moment that I made a vow to myself that I was going to look for the gold in another human being and call it out of them so they could see it and do something good with it. And as time went on, that calling out the best in others turned into challenging others to make a greater individual commitment. Because a commitment is a beachhead. It's the promise and pledge we make to ourselves to be the difference. With every person, at every interaction, every time. Time marches on. And many years, quite frankly, we're at my sister's rehearsal dinner. People are tanking and they're drinking a lot of holy water. Woo! We're partying hardy. And everybody's giving my sister tons of advice. And all of a sudden we hear ting, 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 ting. Everybody's looking around. Where's the source of that ting, 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 ting? They spot my mother. She's about 100 pounds soaking wet. We settle down because the matriarch is going to speak. She begins with the truth. You know, your father and I have been married many years. We've had many children. I would like to offer my daughter and her husband-to-be some counsel on the eve of their wedding. My mother proceeds to the front of the room, and as she turns around, I notice she's got about 6 pages of notes. Honestly, I don't remember all 6 pages. But I want to share with you the 3 life-giving pearls of wisdom that I do remember. Are you ready? Love it. That's the interactive part. She begins with Joy and Paul. Remember to make your home a safe harbor, a refuge, a place where you can come in from a sometimes cold and brutal world and lay the burdens of the day to rest. A place where you're loved and respected and you can refresh your spirit so that you can begin anew, fulfilling the duties of your state in life conscientiously so you can do what is right and just. People, you could have heard a pin drop on that carpet. I kid you not. And then my mother says something like, remember to grease the wheels of life with a good sense of humor, poking fun at your foibles. Because a good sense of humor can often diffuse what might otherwise be an explosive situation. And I think every one of us in this room can appreciate that. And then she said, and beware. We're all in and in now. And she repeats it. Beware of being in the company of couples who find humor in ridiculing their spouse, their children, their neighbors, or their friends. Because humorous ridicule leads to the death of love. You've heard my story. And it's my privilege here tonight to encourage you to consider counting your riches, starting with your toes. To encourage you to consider making a greater individual commitment count, because that will energize your spirit and be an actionable pathway to living on purpose. And mostly, I'm here to encourage and remind you that love is the key.